Every culture has symbols. Some symbolize honor. Some symbolize love. Some begin with dignity, but slowly drift toward transaction. At what point does appreciation become pricing? When a man says to a woman, "I paid your price," what exactly does he believe he owns? And when families begin to measure female children by what they can bring, has culture preserved dignity or commercialized it? When bride price is paid or demanded, is it to honor a woman or buy her? Can a woman be priceless and still have price? Depending on how we answer those questions, we may need to confront something deeper than tradition. We may need to re-examine practices and actions. I am Adesina Ayantoyinbo. Welcome to Sacred Tensions, where faith meets reason. Today, we step into the tension circle, where tradition, transaction, and dignity negotiate. Bride price, honorable tradition, or legalized ownership. The defense of culture. Let's be fair. Bride price did not begin as exploitation. It began as honor. It is cultural. It is deeply rooted. It was a way of saying, this woman is valuable. She is not taken lightly. It acknowledged the family that raised her, the dignity she carries, the discipline she maintained, the seriousness of the union. And in many cultures, it means the woman is protected by ensuring a man came with responsibility, not impulse. So, no, truth be told, tradition itself is not the enemy. Not everything old is wrong. Some traditions carry wisdom we can't afford to lose. The dangerous shift. But something has shifted. Somewhere along the line, honor started sounding like negotiation. Lists got longer, prices got higher, expectations became transactions. And now men are asking, can I afford her? Women are being evaluated by what is her price. And that is where the tension begins. Because when price dominates the conversation, value can quietly disappear. When daughters become assets. But here is where it gets uncomfortable. In some places, female children are no longer just daughters. They are future transactions, raised consciously or unconsciously as investments. The thinking becomes, when she marries, we will gain, we will make it. So, value is no longer just human, it becomes financial. And slowly, quietly, a child becomes a profit center. No one says it out loud, but the expectations, the negotiations, the pressure, they reveal it, written all over attitudes and gestures. The internal effects when men start to own. Let's talk about what this does beneath the surface. Some men don't just pay bride price, they interpret it, and the interpretation becomes dangerous. I paid, therefore she is mine. Not mine in love, but mine in control and authority. So, her voice becomes optional. Her freedom becomes negotiable. Her dignity becomes conditional. All under one silent justification. After all, I paid. And that is no longer marriage. That is ownership. If you feel like you've paid, you may begin to feel like you own. And ownership changes behavior. To the woman, if a price was placed on you, you may begin to wonder, is this my worth? and to the families. What started as honor can slowly become pressure, competition, even pride. And now, we are no longer talking about love. We are talking about cost. The spiritual lens. Now, let us bring this into the light of Scripture. Marriage was never designed as a transaction. It was designed as a union. In Genesis, we see partnership, not pricing. And in Ephesians chapter 5, we see love defined as sacrifice, not acquisition. Christ didn't negotiate with the church. He gave himself fully, freely, without bargaining. So we have to ask ourselves, if the model is sacrifice, where did we learn to measure love with a price tag? Bride price versus dowry. Let's clear something important here. Bride price is not the same as dowry. Bride price is traditionally given by the groom or his family to the bride's family. Dowry is typically given by the bride's family to the groom. Different cultures, different directions. But here is the deeper truth. Both can become transactions if the heart behind them is corrupted. So the issue is not just which system, it is what the system has become. The hard questions. If a man cannot pay, does that make the woman less wealthy? And if the price is higher, does that make the woman more valuable? If a family demands more, are they honoring her more? If negotiations fail, was it love that failed or the transaction? After a man has paid bride price, does that give him power over the woman's life, or have we confused honor with entitlement? These questions expose something deeper. Maybe the problem is not bride price itself, but what we have allowed this to become. What was meant to be honor has become evaluation. What was meant to say, she is precious, has in some cases become, she is costly. And those are not the same thing. One speaks of dignity, the other speaks of expense. Bride price can still be a gesture of respect, a sign of commitment, a cultural expression of honor, but only if we draw a line. It must never define a woman's wealth. A woman is not something to be afforded. She is someone to be honored. No woman should ever feel like she was bought, and no man should ever feel like he owns. So, bride price, honor, or purchase. The practice may remain the same, but the meaning, that is decided by the heart, by the culture, and by the truth we are willing to face. What do you believe? Has bride price remained honor, or has it become something else? I am Adesina Ayantoyinbo, and this is Sacred Tensions, where faith meets reason. Let's talk. Subscribe and engage. See you next time.